What's going on, everybody? Katie here, and welcome back to the 15th official episode, where we are going to talk about today about debunking a common myth within the business and marketing world, and that's this idea that surrounding yourself with like-minded people is the way to go. This has ran rampant in the marketing and business world for decades now, right? Go find your people, find the places, find the ecosystems, the forums, the groups, the social platforms, where they're giving their attention to, and interact with them, behave like them, behave in the same ecosystems and environments that they do, and reap similar benefits as you innovate, create, and put forth solutions and content that are very similar with your own perspective. This is an idea, and principles surrounding this idea have been in existence for a long time, and a lot of people buy into it because it's also tapping into the human behavior that we all gravitate towards comfort. And I don't necessarily agree with this for several reasons. One, because it dilutes unique value propositions, right? If you're just watching, behaving, and interacting with people who are just like you, they have similar struggles, they have similar problems, which is cool if you're looking for empathy, if you're looking for a pat on the back, if you're looking for encouragement, or this is what's working for me, but they are going to be looking for similar solutions that are not available, and similar answers and similar innovations that are not available with other people who are just like them. You have to go outside of people who are like you in order to accomplish and grow anything, especially when it comes to the digital space. So if you want to just be another player in the space, if you don't want to have a unique value proposition, if you want to blend in with others, then of course, like-minded people is 100% the way to go. But this also will bleed into all other activities and areas of your business, this concept of being around like-minded people, right? Because then your customers are going to be served as such, your content is going to sound as such, and everything you do is going to come out of or be birthed out of this place of like-minded, or what's already on the market, essentially. And I know that's not the full concept of what, being around like-minded people is, but that's 80 to 90% of the premise, right? It helps you move forward. Stay with people on your level. They're on the same mind wave. It's like, that's not challenging. That's not innovative. That's not going to push you further into who you are and advance and enhance your identity. That's just going to make you look like more people and feel more comfortable being around people who are just like you, as you share results, share, intelligence, share IP, share ideas, share innovations. And that's necessary in certain points, but that's not a total solution for somebody who's looking to grow something. And what I wanted to say is that you are not your customer, right? So you can have all of the answers you want. You can be around all of the like-minded people that you want, but they are also not your customer, right? And I have to learn this lesson the hard way. You have to learn this lesson the hard way, that consumerism is forever changing, forever advancing, and forever growing in its power and resource. And what that means is people are more prepared and have more information in their buyer journey, in their path to purchase, in the process that they're going through from, initial brand contact, first ever hearing from you to becoming a customer. They are all going through that with more power than they've ever had before. So by the time they actually interact with your brand, they're more informed, they're more prepared to make a decision and or not make a decision. And I learned this, let me use an example here. So one of the things that, this applied to as it pertains to my music is I drop, content, I would say, once a month or once every other month. And it was funny because I would say like a year and a half ago. Oh no, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably like 9 to 12 months ago. I was getting ready to drop an EP, and one of the songs on there was called Gang Gang, and I didn't really like it at all. It was just repetitive. The verses were whack, all that kind of stuff. But I was, speaking with Dash, aka Swolenormous. A lot of people know him as Swolenormous. I was talking to him at the time, and he was like, bro, you need to start treating your music like content. Like the same way you view articles or videos on social or whatever, you always have a unique angle. You always have a unique perspective. Don't worry about this being the perfect one, because you're going to drop the next one in a week, and then the next one in 2 weeks from now, and 4 weeks from now, and a month from now, or whatever. So just drop this, like go record it, drop it, move on to the next one. So reluctantly, I actually did that. I recorded, went down at the time, jerry rigged office, or not an office, but a studio space, went down into a van because obviously the enclosure keeps the audio tight. and sounding good. So I went down into a van that we weren't using, or that had broken down, pulled my mic, my laptop, everything in there, recorded the song. And that to this day is my most high streamed song across all platforms. Every single platform that I have, Gang Gang has the most streams. And I'm pretty sure on almost every platform, I don't think every platform, but almost every platform, it has well over 10,000 streams by itself. And what's crazy is I almost didn't release it because I didn't like it. That's not what was hot on the market. That's not what like-minded people were doing around me. That's not what similar artists or people that I was engaged with or connected to online at the time were recommending or would have recommended if I asked them. None of that was true. So if I was only paying attention to like-minded or what's on the market, then I would have missed an opportunity. And this has also bled into other areas of business. And I've experienced this with myself, my own business units, as well as my clients over a long period of time, and the people that I've interacted with or mentored or whatever, is that like-mindedness is not always going to work because you are not your customer, and their needs, their challenges, their opportunities are always changing. So how you begin to behave in a way that aligns with that, right? Because you want to meet your buyers on their journey, is that you start to understand who your customers are and how they behave and how they move, right? This is something they call in marketing the buyer journey. Everybody goes through the same process of awareness, consideration, and decision. It doesn't matter what you're buying, what you're purchasing, or where you're putting your time, money, and resources to. You become aware of a pain point, problem, or opportunity. You consider the options that you have in regards to solutions, products, services, attention, etc., and then you make your decision. Awareness, consideration, decision. But understanding that journey is not enough, because we don't just behave like robots. Not everything can be automated. You also have to understand something they call in marketing empathy, or more formally, an empathy map. It's not enough to know who they are and how they behave. You also have to know, what are they seeing, thinking, feeling, and doing, right? The sensory characteristics of your buyer persona. Like, what are they seeing in regards to their interactions, their relationships, the places that they draw information? What are they thinking? Are they feeling like they miss out on something? Are they trying to solve a problem? Do they see an opportunity in something? What are they feeling? Do they feel like there's options on the market? Do they feel like this is going, this purchase or engaging with this product or service is going to, make them more prepared for something, show off to their friends because they have the latest, technology, and then what are they doing? How are they behaving? Where are they drawing information from? Who are they interacting with? What are their buyer characteristics in regards to how they spend their money and their time? Seeing, thinking, feeling, and doing. That's having empathy for how and who they actually are as a customer. And by you understanding this, by you understanding their buyer journey, beginning to map that out, and then understanding their empathy, or having empathy for them rather, you are able then to position your creations very accurately and in a way that the people who are qualified for these things will behave themselves into your brand or into your product, solution, or service. So the interesting thing about all of this, right? Like-minded people, you not being your customer, but understanding their journey and their process, is that all of it is agile and dynamic and ever changing, which means you could do all of those things right. You could understand all of those things. You could surround yourself with the right people, and it could still change literally week over week, month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. So your job is to understand that everything that you put forth, even when it does work, is going to have a law of diminishing returns. I have seen so many entrepreneurs, creators, business owners, writers, speakers, bloggers, influencers, authorities, whatever you want to call them, right? I've seen so many creators ignore the law of diminishing returns. They see something working, so they double down, or they try to find 4, 5, 6 other things that look just like it so they can repeat it. But repeatability and scalability is not just a equation, right? You can't just snap your fingers and all of a sudden you have something that works. I mean, if the greatest companies in the world, everything from the biggest media companies to the Teslas to the Apples, if all of these companies have to constantly innovate because the market is changing and consumerism is changing and power is changing and things are becoming decentralized and more available and information is more readily available, if all of these things are true, then your job is to establish a baseline behavior for your business that is aware of all of these things: customer journey, empathy, surrounding yourselves with the right people, so that way you're staying edgy and sharp and you keeping your unique value proposition. You have to be agile and change after you have that baseline. So that's your baseline, but then also your awareness of how things are changing and how people are interacting is how you shift and how you micro adjust as things continue to go along and time passes. So this is my message for you today, is that you have to first understand that surrounding yourself with like-minded people may or may not be the best solution for you, right? If you want to serve the same type of people, if you're an information business, like maybe it's a better option for you because you're trying to sell to people who are just like you. But chances are you're not your customer, right? And the people you surround yourself are not your customers. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 being that you have to understand your customer once you identify who they are by mapping out their journey, as well as having empathy for them, as well as understanding that all of this is going to have a law of diminishing returns, and that you will have to continue to innovate, continue to be agile and dynamic, or else you will plateau and become stale with the results that you receive with your online and offline marketing efforts. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have to run it back and listen because there's some marketing jargon and all that kind of stuff in there, just realize that its simplest form is your understanding of these things, not necessarily you memorizing terms and all that kind of stuff. I've been in the marketing world for a while, so some of this stuff comes naturally to me. However, it's very, very, very simple to understand. And my goal with this podcast and my goal with the content that I'm putting forward is to take these high and lofty concepts and make them understandable to your average, everyday creator, somebody who wants to make something or grow something off or online. And that's my goal. So we will see you in the next episode 16 of the King Darius Experience. Peace.
I've been through a lot. You been through it too. Look at what they got. This ain't nothing new. They might have a